episode, of course, of Project Over Mike. Hope y'all doing well. We have a long night tonight to talk about a lot of stuff, so I'm hoping everybody is doing well. And like I said, we got a long night to talk about stuff. So, put my screen. How y'all doing? So, like I said tonight, hope you guys having a wonderful week. It's been a crazy week. It's been a week that has been history in the making and changed history forever. So we're gonna be talking about it tonight. So again, remember, if you have a description of whatever show we have right here, remember, you can watch it all on our show is on Project Open Mic, of course, is on all platforms. Again, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, like I said, we are YouTube, we are Facebook, we have many other things. Rumble, Locals, Spotify, Nico, you live. We are worldwide. Again, I'm happy to be back here with you again. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. Trying to get over a sinus infection, a nose, but again, I'm here, and I want to thank everybody for joining in. We have about 5,226 people already just jumped in the building, and that's worldwide on multiple platforms. Again, if you see this logo right here, you know you are in the right spot. Again, thank you. So, going back to the camera of putting me on the screen. We have crazy. It was a crazy week. Very crazy week. Five days ago was something really crazy. There was an attempt assassination of the United States of the president, former United States of the president, Donald J. Trump. He was at a rally, and you see the video, and it was crazy that somebody tried to assassinate the president. Now, let me get this straight and up the front to anybody up there. Because, like I said, I have platform. This show is played on all platforms all over the world. My situation is this. Yeah. I'm neither a Democrat nor Republican. I'm a libertarian. I can tell you my libertarian candidate is a jabroni, so no, I'm not voting for him. Because that's something I know that stand for. It's opposite of libertarian to a degree, but again, I'm not extremes. And we're gonna be talking about the extremes of tonight. They're extremes. Extreme libertarian, I'm not down with. But that mostly goes with my philosophy. I've said it many times before. There's some things that I'm liberal on. There's some things I'm conservative on because I'm a human being. I'm not one side or the other. Like I said, when it comes to my family and my food, money, wife, family, anything, I'm super conservative. You dag skippy. I'm gonna protect them. I'm gonna take and be careful about what anybody try to do to them. But again, I know some of my conservative friends and me that I'm a Christian and all that stuff. Like, I don't answer for people's sin. So if you want to go and be LGBTQ and all that, the alphabet groups and stuff, doesn't bother me. I don't like that you're messing with kids in the school, and I don't like that you try to get them. I gotta pay money for any transition. Other than that, if you're 18 years old and you want to be a transgender woman, a man, a Decepticon, go right ahead. Don't care. Don't have the problem. Funny enough, I am not going to do that story, but there's another story that happened this week as well, too, with all this news. Another story where this trans woman messed with a guy, and then when he found out that she didn't really transform all the way, even though he would never be a woman, get killed. And I've said this over and over on any platform. I've said this on this show multiple times. You want us to say that? Tell the person that you're going to be intimate with that. That's their choice. Do not fake with those people, because that's how you end up getting killed. And that sucks. I don't want nobody to get killed, as we're going to be talking about assassination and everything right now. But stop playing around with people's feelings. The guy should have never did what he did, but the other guy should have never pretended that he was what he was. Sorry. And that's his own video that I'm going to have to do, because this affects a lot of black women and it needs to be talked about. But another story. Tonight, we're going to say, tonight we're talking about a failed attempt assassination of Donald Trump. Now, again, I've stated before, like my grandmother stated, this evil comes in all shape, size, creed, color, height, sex, religion, political party, politician. It makes no difference. Evil. We're human beings. And we human beings do crazy stuff. Some stuff we have helped people, we have helped nations, we have do a lot of stuff. And some we have done, how should I say this? Bull crap. We have done heinous stuff. We have done evil stuff to other people. And it's not, and because we're human beings, we're fallible creatures. We're not all good, we're not all bad. There's some people who are in the middle, there's people that I cannot look at you straight and be on this camera and tell you that I have not sinned. I have. I try not to sin, but I have sinned. Will I sin in the future? Yes. I'm not going to say I'm not, because I'm human. But I'm not going to kill nobody unless you threaten my family and my life. I'm not going to covet another man's wife because I have a beautiful wife. I don't need another man's wife to covet. List goes on. A person told me before we get into this, a person told me it is easy to be bad, but it's hard to be good. And that is so true. That is so true, and that, man, is ridiculous. So, that said, like I stated, there was assassination of Donald J. Trump. I know a lot of people do not like Donald J. Trump. Do I agree with everything that he's done in the past? No. Hell no. Do I agree what he his moral compass in most cases are? Technically speaking, it has changed now after being almost killed. Moral compass and stuff. No, in the past, no. He was arrogant. He was cocky. I didn't vote for him in 2016 because I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton either, because both of them were bad in my opinion. I voted for a third party. But sad to say, there's a lot of stuff when I always have a phrase, prove me wrong. He proved me wrong on a lot of stuff when he became president. Economy was better, gas prices was better, work was getting better for a lot of people over in America. We had the unemployment numbers. Well, let me again, not the unemployment numbers, the U6 numbers. Sorry, I keep on getting the job participating numbers. When people participated jobs was the lowest in 60 years. Things was going great. So I saw that and I said, okay. But I have a video, 2 videos precisely. On if you go to Project Open Mic on YouTube, or you go to Rumble, Project Open Mic on Rumble or Spotify, there were 2 videos. And I said, prove me wrong. I listed out everything that would happen if Joe Biden got elected. All right? Everything that Joe Biden elected. And the thing that's sickening to me, and I wish I was wrong, in those two videos, because one was saying what's gonna happen, and one was like, he's I basically I was running around saying I told you all that because I was proven. My thing was I was proven correct. Everything I said I was gonna happen happened. So, but here's my thing. I'm just trying to tell you the facts while doing this show. I'm doing infotainment, entertaining, and give you information so you could be a very how should I say it? Informed person. All right. Look for the. I've said it again. Don't take me out by your. Go and look for these things yourselves. Look at the U6 number. Go find it. Put it in Google. Find the U6 numbers and look how they bind and Trump. Look for those numbers. Again, the U6 number is job participation. That means anybody, even part time, whatever, people was working, and then find out when they were not working. All right. Inflation was 1.4 when Donald Trump left the office. It went up as high as 9%, and it's still high up in 4% under, of course, President Biden we have now. You could, I'm not gonna tell you who to vote for. You can vote for who you want to vote. You'll vote for Donald Trump. Some people don't want to do that. Okay, then you can vote Joe Biden. Some people don't want to do that. You can vote for RFK. He's on the ballot, so you can go vote for him. Or for option, you don't have to vote. You have the option to do many things, and those are the ones for that. So I'm just wanna first, before we get deep into this thing, I want to play this. I want to play this because this is the daughter of the firefighter Corey who got shot in the head, and we're gonna divulge down this path moment because people are sick. There are very sick individuals out there in this world. So I want to start off with this. This needs to be shown. Because I want to pay respect for innocent man getting killed. I don't want President Biden to die. I think it's even more horrible that his wife is leaving him on the stage and treat him like a little kid. He has Parkinson's or dementia, and this is elder abuse. What they're doing. Again, they said the same thing they did with Dianne Feinstein. That's the Pelosi needs to go. And yeah, Maxine Waters, we say, oh, I'm older than him. Yeah, you're older. You're just as evil as him because again, you don't live in a place where you represent your people, where your people get shot, gunned down, drugs is all over the place. You don't care. You just evil. That's an evil one. I'm sorry. I got a problem with Nancy Pelosi, but Maxine Waters, that's all I can say for her. Anyway, let's get it. Let's start off with what the daughter said, which, like I said, my heart goes out to the family. This is crazy, and it sucks that this happened.
Jesus fiercely and also looked after our church and our members as family.
Oh, I apologize for that. Like I said, trying to do all this stuff together. So again, let's start off with with what the young lady said. It's my fault. I thought it was plain and it's not. So this is what it is right here.
Identified Corey Comparator. This is a statement that his daughter put out. Yesterday, time stopped, and when it started again, my family and I started living a real life nightmare. What was supposed to be an exciting day that had we all looked forward to, especially my dad, turned into the most traumatizing experience someone could imagine. Side note, that was the father's last tweet, is that he's excited to go to this Trump rally. Crazy. I know the media will cover this event, and I'm going to try my best to stay away from looking at everything, especially because I've already
Please
seen
do.
and lived through it in real time. But I want everyone to know what the media will not cover and will not say about him. He was the best dad a girl could ever ask for. My sister and I never needed anything. You call, he would answer, and he would do anything for you as needed. And if he didn't know how, he would figure it out. He could talk and make friends with anyone, which he was doing all day yesterday, and loved every minute of it. He was a man of God, loved Jesus fiercely, and also looked after our church and our members as family. The media will not tell you that he died a real life superhero. They're not going to tell you how quickly he threw my mom and I to the ground. They're not going to tell you that he shielded my body from the bullet that came at us. He loved his family. He truly loved us enough to take a real bullet for us. And I want nothing more to cry on him and tell him thank you. I want nothing more than to wake up and for this to not be a reality for me and my family. We lost a selfless, loving husband, father, brother, uncle, son, and friend. And I will never stop thinking about him and mourning over him until the day that I die too. July 13th will forever be a day that changed my life. I will never be the same person I was less than 24 hours ago. There are a lot of children out there that say their dad is their hero, but my dad is really mine. I don't think I would be here today without him. Dad, I love you so much. There aren't enough words to express how deep this love goes. And I know you'll give heaven some hell. I know that God is proud of the man that came to his gates yesterday.
I feel sorry for your loss, young lady. That is a sad thing, including in America right now, where a lot of the media like to attack masculinity and men. Now, oh, toxic masculinity, which is so crazy, but they don't talk about toxic femininity. But I feel for you and your family. Apparently, Biden tried to call the wife, and the wife was like, no, I don't want to talk to Biden. No, not because of what, it's not because you don't need to take a call for the president. The problem is, though, everybody, which you'll be seeing, right? You see, when I'm doing this show right here, everybody's talking about all the rhetoric, talk all the rhetoric. This is 5 days after. You think most of the mainstream media have called out the rhetoric? No. Have they lied? Yes. Have they ratcheted some of them up? Yes. Joy Reid, you moron. But that's not the point in other cases. We're gonna go into more of it because, like I said, they have a lot of deranged people, and I'm not gonna give all of a platform because they're crazy. Because again, Gen Z, I hope that we could get to them. If I have a child, if we're working for a child, there will be a Gen Zer, and I'm hoping that we could help them. But I can tell you right now, Gen X, y'all fail the millennials, and millennials, y'all fail the Gen Z. Point blank period. We'll fail them. We have made them snowflakes. We have made them so cringy and just so weird. It's just like I don't get it. I don't get it. What the kids we have right now. And I'm going to a lot of main things that's in my mind that I don't want to do in this show tonight because I figure out something. Excuse me. I figured out something about the LGBTQ community that I was like, and it might have been in my past that I figured this out, but I want to do a show because I've figured out a lot of things lately about slavery, about when they talk about democracy, which we don't live in a democracy, we live in a democratic republic. We live in a republic. I stuff like that. Like I would want to do a video of just straight of unconvenient, how I would put it, uncomfortable truths. Like I always have my phrase about bias. Oh, people say, "Oh, I'm biased." No, you ain't. There's no such thing as I'm biased. We could make the word up. It ain't happening. Nobody in their mind ain't unbiased. None. Everybody has a bias. The word that people need to use is objective, but they don't use it because they're like, "Oh, it's about unbiased opinion." As soon as a person tells me that, I'm like, "You're full of S. You're literally full of S." Anyway, um, let's get into more. So it was a horrible thing. Let's go into this.
very serious hour. We saw something yesterday that should happen. Now, regardless of your politics, some things are above politics.
It is.
I have many questions. I don't understand how anyone could get within 130 yards of a former president and a major candidate with a AR gun and the Secret Service not know it.
Which is something we're gonna be talking about. And also another thing too. I saw a stupid person. Stupidity runs rain. Like I said, individuals smart, people are stupid. Like I stated before, when she said, "Oh, look at you Republicans now. Oh, see, that person had a gun or whatever. Now y'all don't want. Now y'all bitch y'all want to ban guns. No, 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 no. We don't want to ban guns. No, 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 no. And also, First Amendment rights. I mean, Second Amendment rights doesn't mean means for a reason, sweetheart. You're supposed to protect yourself. This person did a heinous crime, just like somebody who shot somebody. That's also a heinous thing to do. I don't get how people saw that. You saw that as something else. It's just weird. But the Secret Service dropped the ball, and the reason they dropped the ball is, well, we'll talk about that in today's show as well too.
I don't understand how people could be at the event telling them that man has a gun.
Yep.
Regular folks see him, but the authorities don't. Now everybody's eyes work the same way. And they see the man climbing the wall and point it out, say he has a gun. And no one sees it until he fires a shot. If there is something in you that would cause you to rejoice when you see something like that, you need to be saved. There's something wrong with you.
Exactly. That is so true and so needed. You need to be into that.
And it doesn't matter the politics.
No.
Doesn't matter the politics. I don't want to see President Biden shot by no one.
Neither do I.
No, sir.
No.
I had a problem during President Obama's reign when he was president. I had a problem with all these new movies coming out, White House down and this down, the president getting shot. You know, what is this? This is not good. And I just, I don't want to say too much because I don't know any more than you know, but I don't see how that's possible. That a shooter, a 20-year-old shooter.
Yep.
The boy with his last name Crooks, no older than 20, could get on the roof of a building 130 yards away and have a direct sight. And all those Secret Service agents didn't see it. And I do know that the Trump campaign has requested more Secret Service agents on more than one occasion. And
Yep. And it was I forgot the Democrat from South Carolina was like, oh, well, we don't need to give him. We need save taxpayers' money. Let me get this straight, sir. He's a former president. He don't need that. And now he's a convicted person. We don't need that. So, but they were doing this before the conviction. So let me ask a question. So does the Obama don't need Secret Service and his kids? Clinton don't need Secret Service and his kids? Bush? Like, look, that's their job. That's what it was set up to be. That's their job. So yes, it's kind of crazy.
With every request, they've been turned down. I bet they'll give them more now.
Oh, they gave them more now. You go to the RNC convention, you see there was more, and they were all men. We'll get back to that a little bit later.
And after the conviction, they tried to get his Secret Service detail removed. Now, regardless of how you feel in America, we beat our opponents, or they beat us at the ballot box, not by shooting them and things of that nature. That is not good at all.
No.
I will say this too, and then I'm going to preach. It blessed me in a day where preachers have made a mint, they made a fortune. Bishop Jakes made a fortune telling men to take the S off their chests. Made a fortune telling us, you know, you've been hurt. You've been hurt, making crybabies out of men. There's nothing now to turn the television on. You see these shows, black men sitting there crying and whining, making cry. Now, we never bought that here. When it was popular, I didn't go along with that because, not that men don't cry, but because we do. But men aren't women.
Exactly.
Amen. And men they ain't supposed to handle things like
women.
a woman.
No.
You know.
But the same old media has made, and Hollywood has made it that, oh, you should be what it is. You should. It's toxic just for saying stalwart stuff, to be strong. Men could be empathy as well, but they wanted, including the black men. Oh man, they literally wanted us to stop, because that's why right now, at this point right now, more black men are. Well, is it going to be a lot? I don't think so, but I think it will be at least in the 80 percentile of men who are not going to vote Democrat, while women would stay about 90. It was 93 last time, so no, it was 95 last time. It was 95 last time. So on 95 clip, women voted for Democrat, and men voted 93 last time. That's why they dropped down. That's why I got the numbers there. I remember right now. It might be in the 80s this time. Maybe you should walk off the plantation. Mental slavery.
You have to man up. And whether it was President Trump, former President Trump, or had it been President Biden, any man that can get shot and get back on his feet and show defiance and say, fight as a man, that moved me. Praise the Lord. That's moving. That's powerful. Especially in this day now where men are now painting their fingernails. See brothers in GQ, basketball players with dresses on.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
We got purses, call them man bags, and all these other things.
Man purse.
And in many ways, we refer to these things as masculine. We're watching the feminization of men. And then when you see a man handle a thing like a man, you're almost offended by it. You don't know how to interpret it.
True.
So let us pray that God would touch us and vote any way you choose to.
Yeah,
I pray that you look at the issues, pray, and let the Lord use you.
Yeah.
But saints, we don't celebrate that kind of a thing. Everybody's loved by somebody.
Exactly.
Everybody's special to someone. And as saints of God, we've got to be prayerful in these times. Prayerful.
So yeah. So, and I thank you, Bishop, for that. I really do. That is something that needs to be talked about, because it's just crazy how, like I said, this has affected the black community a lot. There's not a lot of men who are stepping up. A lot of these men are becoming as some people call them, child husbands, guys. I think a lot of men who are mostly frequently spreading their seeds all over, and not marrying a woman unless it's divorce and stuff, are also basically
You piece of loser.
But women always say, "Men is this, men is this, men is this," including in the black community. And I always have a question for that. That because nobody wants to talk about the reality of it. A man who not his responsibility is a piece of crap, like I just said. Nothing against that, but again, Ayala did a video, did a show. Ayala did a show. There was 11. How much was there? I think it was like 7, 8 men that had what? It combined had over 150 kids. 7 men. I can understand the first mistake. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10. That's one of the reasons I don't have that much. I said that's why I don't give what her name is, Sierra, that accountability or not. Looking for her, she found Russell Wilson and happy that Russell Wilson became a stepdad and take care of everything. Good for him. Future was a bad person in the first place. But you was his 5th baby mama. My thing is like, oh, you think that you're that bad that you could change a man? And that's what a lot of women do. And again, syphilis, gonorrhea, and has gone up in women, in young women, which is sad in Gen Z women. 20-year-old, but 30% of men, black men, are still virgin up to the age of 30. So it ain't the men going out doing all this stuff. It's specifically one guy, one couple guys impregnated all these women, and they literally go into that same one guy to have this, which is so stupid and so baffling to me. But you think that you are the one that could change him? Okay. Now, as I said, let's get into proper about tonight's show. Tonight's show is about, like I said, the media. The problem is a man died and 2 people got injured. We don't know what the other 2 people got injured as of yet. I did a video about this again. I did a video about this at assassination of Saturday night. But now, let's get into the media. And the media, when I say the media have blood on their hands, because they thought about, oh, we need to turn down the radio, whatever. Really, media? Now, as again, I like to look at all different kind of sources. I don't look at just, you guys, you can see right there, MSNBC, I have on the top screen. I have MSNBC, and I have all kind of stuff. But I look at everything. Why? Because I'm ignorant of a lot of things, and I want to learn. And that's one thing I thank my mom for helping me to do, is to learn about what's going on in the world. But let's talk about this. This is a person who's not a Democrat, who's not a Republican, but a person from a different country with a perspective of looking in that I like because, hey, you know what? It is crazy. And he's more elegant speaking than I am. So I will use him for sure.
Former President Donald Trump made his first appearance in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention following the attempted assassination at a Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. It was an emotional appearance. He seemed, I've not seen this side of Trump before, he seemed emotional. He seemed very moved by the audience reception calling his name. He also used the opportunity to announce his vice president would be J.D. Vance. Since the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, there has been a change in media narrative from immediately after to the next day after, and now a couple of days out. And it seems in the process, there's some major details that have been overlooked. We're going to have a close examination of those in this video. Now, what happened in Butler was a tragic event. Not only was it incredibly traumatizing, no doubt, for Trump, his family, his supporters, and all Americans who care about peace, but also we should pay tribute to the man, Corey Comparator, who lost his life shielding his family on that day. Now, if you're like me, what you saw on the weekend will have upset you and angered you. In fact, as you know, if you've been following this show, we cover political violence in quite some depth. And I think it is important that we continue to do so that we highlight what exactly is going on in the hope that things might be different in the future. With regards to how the media covered it, this was a simple story. It was simple from the beginning. There was an assassination attempt on the former president's life. We
Very simple, very easy.
saw the video. We saw how the bullet cut his ear. We saw that it was only a few millimeters away from killing President.
And I gotta put it. I don't have the video. Yeah, that looks like glass, Joy Reid. That looks like glass, Joy Reid.
Few millimeters away from killing President Donald Trump. What happened was clear and simple. If you're watching like me, you would have seen quite clearly this was an assassination attempt. It should not be controversial whether you are on the right or on the left about what exactly happened. And yet there was unbelievable difference in reporting on what happened across the political spectrum when it came to the media. Despite that, let's look at the initial headlines that were all over the internet. The Washington Post: Trump rushed off stage after loud noises heard at PA rally. USA Today: Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startled former president crowd. The BBC:
which we know if this was Biden, it would have been literally as he just stated. And here's the thing: nobody would have argued on the right side of this. He had an assassination attempt. That's what it was.
Trump rushed off stage at Pennsylvania rally. ABC News: Trump says he was shot at rally in possible assassination attempt. Spectator killed and shooter. This ABC headline is absolutely ridiculous. Trump, quote, says he was shot at, quote, possible assassination attempt.
Exactly.
Why include?
Hey guys, so there has.
Okay, that's one I'm not gonna do that. Sorry, and I mean that because of this. And I will, you know what, to anybody who's watching, I'll tell you the reason why. I don't want this person hurt, but I don't want to see the person as much as I can.
About what happened. In the same sentence, they say the spectator was killed. So if Trump says it, are you suggesting that it might not be true, even though you're also saying in the same sentence that someone was killed? CNN: Trump's speech interrupted by Secret Service. CNN again: Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. But if we're going to give media the benefit of the doubt, we should steel man the argument that they shouldn't be reporting on things without conclusive evidence, without being 100% sure about what happened. So let's have a closer look at the timings and when the media reported things. So we're all clear. Here are the exact timings of how events unfolded in Butler, Pennsylvania. At 6:03 p.m., Trump took the stage. At 6:11 and 33 seconds, the first shots were fired. 5 minutes later, ABC News reported at 6:16 p.m., Donald Trump escorted off stage by Secret Service during rally after loud noises ring out in crowd. Now, I would say within 5 minutes of the incident, this headline is understandable. But at time of recording this video, they still have not changed that headline. And changing headlines is exactly what the mainstream media have been doing throughout this story. The Washington Post published an article with the headline, Trump rushed off stage after loud noises at rally. At 7:22, well over an hour after the shooting, they changed the content of the article, but not the headline itself. They did eventually change the headline, but they changed it to, Trump says he was shot in ear during Pennsylvania rally shooting. Says... At 6:31 Eastern Time, USA Today published the headline, Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president crowd. Now, this article was updated at 6:53, long after we had established it was an assassination attempt. However, they kept the headline the same. Jake Tapper, who you will remember as the moderator on the CNN debate between Biden and Trump, tweeted this at 7:33 p.m. Trump injured in incident in Pennsylvania. Tapper tweeted this even though at this point it was abundantly clear there was an assassination attempt. Tapper must have realized this as he swiftly deleted the tweet and posted this instead. Now, fair enough, he deleted that post and 5 minutes later posted...
And let's help people out there. That's why I don't have a Twitter page per se. or X page. How can I put this? Stop posting stupid stuff unless you know what's going to happen. Because if you think you could go and delete stuff off of pages, you're crazy. It's going to be there forever. It's a digital footprint, and you are a highly top news media guy, Tapper. But no,
something more accurate. But the question is, why didn't he post that in the first place? It's not like there was a long time lag between tweets. This perhaps tells us something about the instincts of the mainstream media. It seems to me that their instincts were to downplay what had happened. If it had been Biden who had had an assassination attempt, do you think they would have been so hesitant? No. This, to me, is the double standard. Now we're going to look at the second wave of media bias, the wave of media that came the following day on the Sunday. We're going to look at how that was different between the right and the left. We're going to have a look at what the underlying motives might be. As we have shown, there is clear mainstream media bias that we see on an almost daily basis. In fact, on this particular story, I've only just scratched the surface, but that's for a little bit later. I have teamed up with Ground News because they collate all of these media stories.
And I will point this out as well, too. Ground News is a good place to go to find out what the biases lean towards and see how they do the stories. That's, again, I don't have a link to it, but he's going to explain it. But this is one of the places I use as well, too. Because you know what? God forbid I listen to MSNBC and CNN to hear, oh, you're still lying. You still ain't going to tell the truth. But you know what? I still listen because I want to know what they're saying. You got to figure out what the other people say so you know you get a precise thinking. And a lot of people don't do that. They literally stick. One of my exes never went to another story. My cousin-in-law would never go to a Fox News. Oh, of course not. But CNN, they've lied majority of the time. From since CNN came out in 2000, trusted news and media, CNN was good in the 90s. From the 2000s and up, they've been total dog crap.
Into one place so we can compare right, left, and center as stories develop. And that's why my team and I wanted to collaborate with Ground News on this story. I've met with the great people on their team and we used their website for the research on this show. So let's have a closer look at the Trump assassination attempt coverage through the Ground News website. Ground News gives me instant access to more than 700 articles reporting on it worldwide, with context on each publication's political bias, factuality, based on how subjective or objective their printed language is, and who funds them. Again, we can see left-leaning USA Today and ABC News downplayed the assassination attempt by reporting Trump was removed from stage after, quote, loud noises startled him and, quote, rang out in the crowd. The Irish Times behaved just as despicably, writing, in a society roiling with violence, even those who weaponize it are vulnerable. Right-leaning outlets were quick to call out, quote, liberal media's despicable coverage, reporting that their bias was, quote, on full display. If you're like me, you want to get to the truth. And for that, I can't recommend Ground News enough. To stay fully informed on all the stories that tend to become sensationalized, just like Donald Trump and the 2024 presidential election, I recommend Ground News. I'll give you another example specific to this incident on the weekend. Only 6% of left-wing media are covering the story that law enforcement spotted Trump shooter nearly 30 minutes before shots fired. Ground News highlights these media blind spots. So go to ground.news/Winston or scan the QR as well. So check them out. The link is in the description. So let's look at the second wave of media bias. This is the Sunday morning headlines. The New York Post front page said Trump shot. See, it wasn't that hard after all. Isn't that the story? The New York Times front page wrote, Trump hurt, but safe after shooting. Nothing to see here. Trump's perfectly fine. Don't mention the assassination attempt. Let's move along. Next story, please. And whilst you're at it, let's crop out the American flag. We'd hate for him to look like a hero. This one isn't mainstream media. It's local news, but they managed to stoop lower even than Sky News, which really was beyond my own imagination.
And sometimes I always say look for local news, but sometimes they do. Because of what's going on with this, they're gonna play this. But naturally, they're gonna play this up stupidly, which makes no sense to me. But okay.
The Sunday Denver Post wrote, "Gunman dies in attack." So
Wait. What?
Holy Jesus. What is that? What is that?
Wait.
Imagination. The Sunday Denver Post.
Gunman dies in attack. Trump says he was shot in air.
What?
This is why I say people are delusional. Trump said he shot in the air. This is Sunday, brother. This is Sunday, and this is what you wrote? The gunman dies in attacks? No. People died in attack. Trump assassination? No, that was not the top news. Yeah, I get it. I totally understand it now. Jeez Louise.
Post wrote, gunman dies in attack. So just to be clear, in an assassination attempt on the former president at a rally, and he's also a president nominee for this upcoming presidential election, when another attendee of the rally was killed protecting his family, the Sunday Denver Post ran the headline, gunman dies in attack. That's the story for them. Think about that. The New York Times published this. He failed the test of leadership and betrayed America. How far removed do you have to be from reality to think that that is appropriate less than 12 hours after what had happened? But this is, of course, the New York Times. As you know, they shilled for Hitler in the 30s. They shilled for Stalin in the 50s. This is a newspaper who have disgraced themselves decade after decade. From that context, from that point of view, actually, this is a continuation of the same old shit. On the Sunday, unreconstructed neocon David Frum published this article in The Atlantic, The Gunman and the Would-Be Dictator. Notice the use of the word dictator, a word that we've seen used time and time again ever since 2016 to describe Trump, particularly by left-wing media bias. We're going to go and have a closer look at that a little bit later in this video and how they may have paved the way in rhetoric into what happened on the weekend. Before that, let's look at the next wave of media and how right and left-wing media started covering how each other were covering the story in Pennsylvania. The New York Post. Media kept bias on full display after Trump assassination attempt. The New York Times. Republicans place shooting in Trump's narrative of persecution. Jeff
What's wrong with you people?
Bezos' Washington Post wrote, Musk, other pro-Trump billionaires have helped shape shooting narrative.
Hypocrite. Again, like I said, Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, is criticizing another rich man in the world for doing that, even though his paper wrote this, whatever. Democracy dies in darkness. Yes, it does when your paper is trash. And again, we don't live in a democracy.
What narrative exactly do they mean? Is that to say that the narrative that there was an assassination attempt on Trump is not true? On a side note, left-wing favorite of this show, Vox, wrote, yes, it's still fair to call Trump a threat to democracy. You know what I think is a threat to democracy? Mainstream media lying and lying and lying and demonizing opponents so badly that people think it's a good idea to try and assassinate them. Now, this is still developing, but it seems that there is a narrative growing amongst left-wing media that this whole thing was staged. In fact, the word staged went trending on Twitter very shortly after the assassination attempt. But let's just think about that 1 second. How do you think that it was staged? Do you think they approached Trump before the event and said, look, we've got this idea. We're going to try and nearly assassinate you. We're going to have a gunman set up. He's going to clip your ear. He's not going to get you. He's just going to clip your ear. And then you're going to go up in the polls. But it might not work and you might die in the process. Do you really think that that's what's going to happen? Do you really think Trump is going to risk his life like that?
The answer is no. But here's another thing that killed me too. People don't understand. Even though he was 400 yards away, 150 yards away. The thing that is, like I said, you also, and people tell you this, you also got to take in the wind, all kind of stuff to see if you'll get your shot off. So kind of crazy. And I was watching something today. If that man had died, it'd have been straight chaos. Y'all, it'd have been chaos. The markets would have crashed. You think that you broke now? All of us would be broke like crazy because of that. Oh, yeah, he got shot. Now these crazy people say, yeah. And then things would have gotten crazy. A civil war would happen, or World War III would happen. Because again, remember, the First World War, they were already had little wars over the places. We already have Iran versus the Gaza. We already have Ukraine versus Russia, and you got China want to take on Taiwan. So you have proxy wars and regular wars happening right now. Remember, the first war, World War I, started because of the Ferdinand. He got assassinated. So this could have caused a lot of crap and repeat history. But by the grace of God, Trump turned his head at the last second. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God, for that. Because I don't want nobody to get killed. That's why I led off this tonight's show with the daughter talking about her father, because this is ridiculous. As one of my people, I mean, he can't. I know he's not talking. He's thinking about one of the guys who would help with the show. Trip, shout out to him. I remember saying this multiple times on my show, and he just told me to remind, and it is true. Look, Biden is flying the plane, okay? Unlike Bill Maher, which now he's kind of like coming around a little bit, but he's not an intelligent guy. I have a video about Bill Maher. It proves my point with that one too, but he sees stuff. He's observational, but he's not really as smart as he thinks he is. But as I like Bill Maher, I don't want the economy to crash. When I said that the economy would be bad under Biden, I would say that because I was trying to tell people, warn people who are watching the show, the 29,450 people who's watching right now. I was warning people who share the video, share the content, subscribe on YouTube. I was warning people that get your together because it's gonna be rough, and it was rough. I can tell you right now, my wife ain't happy because of all the taxes. She had the extra tax she had to pay because of that. But I digress. And we do what we gotta do. But I don't want the plane to crash. I don't want the plane to come out of the sky. I don't. So even though Biden was not my choice, because he told me if I vote for him, I am black, and I did not vote for him. So this white man here that you see on your screen didn't want. Let me put it this way, because I don't want to chastise Winston here. I'll just put it this way. This white man you see on the screen right here, he didn't want. He don't want the economy to crash. I don't. I know it's gonna happen, but I don't. He's the pilot, whatever. But now, after the debate, he's not even flying the plane. I'm sorry. He ain't flying the plane. The co-pilot ain't flying the plane, because Kamala ain't doing jack squat. Her job was supposed to take care of the border, and the border's got more holes than Swiss cheese. And the bad part about it is not even that the border has more holes than Swiss cheese. They literally fly people into the country who are also illegals. I don't get it. And yes, I saw a sign. I'm gonna do a story. I'm gonna do a video about that a sign. I saw a sign. I'll show it to you. This is why I say it doesn't make sense. That's what we know. It doesn't make sense to me. I took this picture of this sign right here. How do you see it? That's the sign. Right? I know the people. They're the white people's yards. All right? It's the white person's yard. House, expensive, everything. I laugh at this. Why? Because a lot of these things in here are contradictory. That's a lie. We believe Black Lives Matter. I believe all my lives matter. Love is love. Oh, so I guarantee you that they love President Trump. I doubt that. I doubt that situation. This one always kill me. Feminist is for everyone. Okay. Then why we have the T in LGBT? Because I know I know a lot of lesbians do not like transgender women. All right. No human being is illegal. Okay, whatever. No human being is illegal. I agree with you with that. But they do illegal things. That's what I'm gonna call them. That's what we'll call it. Science is real. Be kind to all. I guarantee you, and I know it because if I say anything Trump related or anything Republican or whatever, they would not be kind. So it's a hypocritical. That's what mostly is. What the left is. I was saying before. I'm not talking about people who are straight up Democrats. I'm not talking about people who are center right or center left or center left. Because my sister's center left. And now you're gone. I'm talking about the wackadoos that's at the end of the circle. Because the right wing, the white wing, and the left wing are basically right beside each other. They are the same thing. They're like an old balls eating at the end right there. That's the crazy part. Left nut jobs are just as more, in my opinion, are more racist than daggone right wings. At least, hey, here's the thing. I'd rather you tell me that you don't like me because I'm black, so we're good. I'd rather that. It's so stupid. That's why in a little part of this, we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show about when people are like, oh, free speech with this guy named Destiny who's a piece of crap, literally a piece of crap. And the stuff he let people like the preacher just said, this is not a bad. This is a lump of skin who pretends he's a man. Is he rich? Yes, but he manipulates young people to do the most to listen to his stupidity. He's not smart. He's not, but he thinks he's smart and he thinks he's better than people. To wish death on people and say he was laughed up, the stuff he said was just crazy. And of course, he wears blue hair. Just saying. But another thing is this. I want Joe Biden to retire. He's not running the country. Go spend time with your grandchildren, Joe Biden. That's what you should do. Or relax yourself. The job is a very, very hectic job. And he's not running the country. Kamala's not running the country. It's bureaucrats running the country, and I don't like that. I don't care the Republican side or the Democrat side. I don't want bureaucrats running the country. I want smaller government. The government is too large, too big. They waste our money. We do not have, like I said about the money thing, we don't have intake money because y'all take a lot of money from us. It's a spending problem I don't like. Again, another prediction I had with Joe Biden, I said, and I was off. I tell you the thing, I was off. I would hope I was right, but wrong. I said we're gonna be about 32 trillion dollars after 4 years of Joe Biden. I was wrong. We're at 35 trillion. We went from 20 trillion to 35 trillion. $15 trillion in 4 years.
What? What the fuck?
Wasted on nonsense. We have given Ukraine 1.7, we have given $117 billion. Again, I'll be giving a lot of money to Israel as well, and Gaza. We stupidly gave Iran, Obama and Biden, we stupidly gave Iran 96 billion. Well, Obama was $86 billion, and Biden gave more to people who don't like us. I don't get that. That is stupid. That makes no sense at all. I would give money to people who don't like who want to destroy us. That makes sense. That's good. Oh my goodness, the world is really crazy right now. Anyway, let's continue.
Before Saturday.
And he has to be eliminated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Here we go. Trump needs to stop the language of talking whatever. Violence, you say much? Again, back to you. I hate to see that woman on my screen. Very, very evil person. But again, they said, oh, they said Trump talks the rhetoric of doing or whatever. Okay, I've heard a lot of Trump's speech. I've heard a lot of Republican speech. And anybody who do crazy stuff, all the bloodbath thing that was talking about cars, that they had talk about no damn bloodbath. That's what it was about. But y'all interpret it again. I always say, go watch the clip. Go watch the full clip. The one where they say, oh, well, Trump said it was good people in Charlottesville. You know what happened with Charlottesville? That's funny as it is. Yes, were there people going out there doing stuff? Yeah, they went out there with tiki torches, did right, didn't fight, did no craziness. But remember, Black Lives Matter fought and destroyed a lot of people. And let's not forget, the same people who was in charge of Black Lives Matter, where did they build their mansions? Did they build it around black folks? Oh no. No, they did not. They built it around white folks. Oh, white people are the problem, but they're around white folks. Don Lemon, white people are evil, but you married a white man. Wanda Sykes, oh, white people is bad, but you married a white woman.
What?
Yeah, like I said, that's why I call these people heretics. They literally are hypocrites 24/7, 365. And this is what it is. They talk about, we got to turn down the rhetoric. Trump got to turn down the rhetoric.
He has to be eliminated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take him out now.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
The genius is.
And that joke with her, that Kamala joke, that was nothing. I don't count that. The others I do count. You see, you got to put a book. That one, yeah. This, no.
At The View have figured out exactly who to blame.
It was, a 20-year-old lone wolf, white, whack job with easy access to a gun. And we have to have a conversation about that. Because it wasn't a drag queen. It wasn't an immigrant.
No, but there were drag queens that kill people that the news media don't want to talk about. There were transgenders who kill children in schools. The media don't want to talk about. Illegals. It wasn't an immigrant. Nah, they were illegals. And they've done horrible stuff. And I want to point it out in a clip later on. Who did horrible stuff? 2 black people, too. So let's stop the nonsense.
It wasn't a pissed off liberal woman.
That's happened as well, too. But again, the media don't, that's why I call the show, the media got blood on their hands. Yes, they are.
And this keeps happening. I mean, we've seen that many times now. Young white men.
Yes, it's always white men, apparently, who do the killing. Just whatever you do, don't look up Blake and Riley. And
thank you.
Whatever you do, don't look up the actual data on homicides in America. Vox.
Don't do that. Or don't look at the person who shut up the Tennessee school or the Chicago school or the person who anally sodomized 2 girls in Virginia. Don't look that up. Don't look that up. No.
Reported on July 1st this year, Democrats say Trump is an existential threat. They're not acting like it. I wonder if Vox think that Democrats are now acting like it. President Joe Biden tweeted this on June 29th. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He is a threat to our freedom. He is a threat to our democracy.
To our republic. Our democracy.
He's literally a threat to everything America stands for. Biden also said,
and I apologize, but I'm not. But if you're watching the show, I'm not gonna apologize. I apologize, but not really. I'm gonna say Republic all the time. I'm not gonna say democracy because again, democracy has failed every time. Because every time, I've said it again, every time somebody takes over theocracy or communism or socialism or whatever, and put democracy in, what does it does? People went back and vote for the same dumb S. So it never works. This is a republic. It worked for about 200 plus years. It might be it looked like it'll be fairly right now. And yeah, I'm happy. Slave trade orders or whatever, because again, everybody's ancestor was slave by definition. So it's a stupid phrase. But yes, I'm sorry. Those guys who came up with the independence and trying to make this country, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, uh, James Madison, and more on. Thank you guys for doing what you gotta do. Because y'all, I don't think there's no other document in the world that makes as much sense as the Declaration of Independence.
This?
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
But for the last day.
Oh, you know what? There you go. There you go. I will give you that, Joe Biden. Thank you, our republic. You know, that was again. He's pointing out something. At least you said the right word. Thank you, sir.
8 years, we've been pummeled with the idea that Trump is literally Hitler. This has come from politicians, but it's also come from the mainstream media. The New Republic had this as their front cover of Trump as Hitler. Jeff Bezos' Washington Post published this headline: "Yes, it's okay to compare Trump to Hitler. Don't let me stop."
There's no comparison, really.
Here's Hillary Clinton on The View.
What, in your view, would happen if he were to be reelected?
Oh, I can't even think that, because I think it would be the end of our country as we know it. And then they...
I thank the Lord Jesus Christ that this woman never had the power to do what she had to do. Thank you. Thank you.
They would try to do away with elections and do away with opposition. And
was he elected? Was he elected 4 years ago? Did he do that? Did he do that? No, he did not.
Do away with a free press.
No,
and you could see it in countries where, well, Hitler was duly elected. That's right. Right?
MSNBC pundit Joy Reid had this to say.
That's all.
Joy Reid is a nut job. And that you hear back to black, you crazy loon.
All I want to know, who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House.
Comedian Dave Smith put all of this better than I could have myself when he tweeted, "How the fuck can you say he's literally Hitler and democracy is on the line, but we wish him a speedy recovery and political violence is never acceptable?" I've always found the literally Hitler narrative utterly despicable, and I'll tell you why.
And I laugh at that because you called Mitt Romney Hitler when he was running against Barack Obama. You called John McClane Hitler when he was running against Barack Obama. You called George Bush Hitler when he was running against Kerry and Al Gore, which you come to find out. Funny, a lot of people don't like talking about Al Gore no more because his inconvenient truth story narrative didn't went through his way it is. Lying. But anyway. So it made no difference how y'all say, oh, Donald Trump. Anybody who's a Republican is a Hitlerist person. That's what they all say. Everybody. So you cry wolf so much times, people just don't care no more.
Firstly, one half of my family fought against Hitler. They put their lives on the line to do so. And on the other side, my Jewish side, well, 13 members were killed in the Holocaust. The idea that Trump is Hitler undermines how evil Hitler really was, how evil what happened in Europe in the Second World War really was. And
Stalin and Mao Zedong.
If Trump really is literally Hitler, then how can you be surprised when people try to kill Trump? If you think Trump is literally Hitler, you are utterly misinformed. You are utterly historically illiterate. Do some homework. Do some research. The term far right has been so used and abused to describe things that aren't far right, that when the actual far right turn up, people will stop believing you. Be accurate with the words you use. There are real repercussions. So where does this leave us now? What does this all mean for the future of media? Well, Fortune wrote this headline: "Trust in media is so low that half of Americans now believe that news organizations deliberately mislead them." Well, like you, I'm exhausted and exacerbated by the mainstream media and their bias. That is why I have set up the Winston Marshall Show, and I think that's why...
And I'm going to leave it at that because he got to that point, all right? That is crazy. That is crazy. I'll take this off so I know what it is. It is something that I don't understand how this works. And this, let me show you exactly why I say Joy Reid is crazy. Let's watch this. Listen to Joy Reid, trusted MSNBC person, news anchor, who's basically bat-ass crazy. Listen to this.
These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter.
You can't be serious.
Survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength.
Because it is.
This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age.
What an idiot.
So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
No.
Are her parents brother and sister? Can you please leave now? Oh, now I get it. She's a moron.
Yeah. And let me help you out with something right here too. So I want to play this again. So again, always look for the full clip as best as you can. Sometimes you don't get it, but a lot of times you do. Again, everybody was saying, oh, when Joe Biden, what do they call it? Cheap fakes. That's what they call it. Oh, cheap fakes. Okay. They're cheap fakes. So when Joe Biden walked off by himself when it was in Europe, and it was they cropped it in the picture. Joe Biden was talking to the paratrooper that landed down. Okay, all right. Let's play the full clip. Let's zoom back and look at the full clip. The paratrooper was not even talking to Joe Biden. He was packing up his parachute. He didn't even look at Joe Biden, and he was by himself. And people had to come all over, walk to him so he don't look like a moron. That's elder abuse. Literally elder abuse. Here's another one. So let's play this. So everybody talk about how Joe Biden has fallen asleep. We've seen it. We've talked about it. He's fallen asleep. He's there. And it's just like that. And froze. Juneteenth, he was there. Studied by a black man have a beard and wearing a dress. It's so weird. So we celebrate the ending. We celebrated the ending of slavery, as you say, with Juneteenth. But you have a black man with a beard dressed in a dress. I don't understand the world these days. I just don't. Anyway, so. Is it? Let me see which one is it. It's this one right here. Yes. So this black lady was saying, looking at Trump, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna play the clip too. So listen to what she's saying. Right. I'm gonna keep quiet. It was hard the first time to listen because she was lying. But again, sorry to tell a story. But yeah, listen to this lady saying what she gotta say. And then put it on Twitter and Facebook so she could, get her clouds and clicks and everything.
He is asleep.
That he wrote, the strength of that book that he wrote, and then
just taking a little nap.
Peter Thiel's pet senator once he got there.
During the Republican National Convention.
Yeah, he's basically just been working for Silicon Valley ever since he got here.
Good Lord.
For the people who he wrote this moving book about in terms of his own background, I mean, that's very.
Wake up, Donald.
That's going to stick to him.
Donald, wake up.
Ohio Senator.
Donald, wake up. Wake up, Donald.
In 2016, when he was
Mr. Trump.
Comparing Donald
wake up, Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump.
This particular
Mr. Trump, you need to wake up, sir. Sir, the camera's on you. You're on the Jumbotron. Wake up, sir. You're running for president.
Okay.
Good morning. On the Jumbotron.
Okay. Let's look at this carefully now. And I'm going to tell you what was happening for people who are not, Again, full skew. Cause they try to hit with the whole Sleepy Joe thing, right? Look at the woman in the back. Look at the black woman behind him. There's a black woman behind him. When he, as she said, wakes up, look at her hands and look what it did.
Wake up, sir. You're running for president. Good morning.
And see, everybody was clapping when he's clapping. You know why she did what she did right there, which is the cross? Because of this.
President Donald Trump safe.
See, same lady in the background.
And if I may, before the benediction, give you this promise. You're going to be so blessed. You're going to be tired of being blessed. I guarantee it.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Believe me.
And then after that, he said, bow your heads and let us pray. That's why the black lady in the background was doing the cross, because of that. As again, let me show you.
Wake up, sir.
And you don't see, it's like say, he clapped if he was wake up, he clapped the exact same time as everybody. Come on, man.
You're running for president.
See?
Good morning.
Everybody clapped. The guy behind him clapped. This is y'all are too much. Y'all are too much for me. I can't stick with you people because y'all are too much. Y'all delusional. Real bad. Real bad. So with that said, I want to go into another thing right now. JP, take it away.
Trump just won the election. Well, it turns out there was a so-called assassination attempt on President Trump. Who's behind it? Why did the Secret Service fail? Who's investigating it? And what does this mean for Trump and the country? Stay tuned to find out. Starting now. While speaking at a rally in Pennsylvania, a gunman was allowed to set up shop on this roof to take unobstructed shots at President Trump before the next part of the plan takes place, where the Secret Service takes the guy's head off so he can't say a word about anything to anyone. Lone gunman kind of thing. Always convenient that way. But as the deep state just found out, sometimes things don't go according to plan. Instead, after taking a bullet to the ear, Trump got back up with a bloody face and won the election. Take a look. Given the bullet, we were approximately half an inch away from civil war. Though we would never want you to believe it, the reason why Trump's life was saved, and potentially America's, can only be explained by saying God was at work. It feels weird. It's like a burning sensation in my chest when I say
I know, right? Because most media don't tell the truth. But anyway.
That. And oddly enough, an American flag at the rally got tangled, strongly resembling the image of an angel, which we can confidently tell you means absolutely nothing. Exactly. And with an AR-15, the gunman opened fire at Trump at exactly 6:11 p.m. And I'm sure just coincidentally, in the Bible, Ephesians 6:11 says, "Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." But
there you go.
rest assured that this means nothing, because we've classified the Bible as misinformation. Let's Let's move on. Americans want to know what happened and who's behind this. Well, for context, let me remind you, they lied about him, they impeached him, they raided him, they arrested him, they convicted him, and now they tried to assassinate him. Therefore, it's safe to say this dead gunman who only got shots off because Secret Service let him crawl up on the roof for over 2 minutes after they were tipped off that he was there, most likely acted alone. And here's something to not think about either. You might remember last year, deep state correspondent Alex Soros posted a picture of $47 and a bullet hole representing an assassination on Trump. So clearly, everyone actually wants Trump alive so we can have a good old-fashioned free and fair election, because we're definitely doing democracy at this point. And for more on the
well, yeah, that's different. It is democracy. You're correct. My bad.
Assassination investigation, Biden took a break from telling people to put Trump in a bullseye to give an update on the investigation. Let's hear what.
And again, I won't call that. I know what Biden meant, the same thing as the phrase as Trump sort of bloodshed thing. I know what he meant, so I'm not gonna do. But again, I get the point, because you can't have the same rhetoric for one side and then the other side. Come on now. Come on.
He had to say.
We don't yet have any information about the motive of the shooter. We know who he is. I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job.
No need to worry, America. The FBI is investigating the assassination. They'll surely get to the bottom of it. The same FBI that covered up the laptop to hurt Trump in the last election and raided Mar-a-Lago is investigating who was ultimately behind this assassination attempt. I can't wait to find out what they don't find. Early predictions are they'll bring charges against Trump for inciting an assassination. But we will have a much clearer picture of who is behind it all once the FBI goes through the gunman's phone. This just in! Oh damn, the FBI can't get into the shooter's cell phone.
Official is telling Fox they believe the shooter acted alone. We're also learning that they can't get into his cell phone. They have it at Quantico, but haven't been able to get any data out of it.
The same
What? What the fuck?
But you bet. I bet you them bitches are on my phone.
FBI that is currently in your cell phone cannot get into the shooter's cell phone.
Thank you.
Golly.
Thank you.
Sure looks like a case of he acted alone. Now a word from our sponsor. For campaign. Before we get into how DEI played a role in Trump's life almost being taken,
but you're gonna be talking about that next.
We at the mainstream media originally reported the assassination attempt pretty stellarly. For more on that accurate kind of reporting, let's throw it over to our senior political correspondent, Brent Pella. Take it away, Brent.
Thanks, schmucko. Turns out this assassination attempt was not an assassination attempt because we unfortunately missed. It was an assassination hoax. Our original journalistic-ish headlines about what happened at the rally are still true, such as Trump escorted away after loud noises at Pennsylvania rally. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. Trump removed from stage after loud noises startle former president. Additional possibilities of what really happened include Trump's ear begins bleeding at rally after he attempts to Van Gogh himself. Trump's ear begins bleeding on stage when he tries to sexually assault Mike Tyson. It also turns out there's a dead alleged gunman whose pronouns are was-were. The only
good one. Good one.
way we can explain this dead body that luckily can't talk is that Kyle Rittenhouse thought he was a black guy and shot him. Because I said all this with authoritative confidence, these are the facts. Back to you, JP.
Excellent and accurate journalism as always, Brent. And there's never a bad time to plug how DEI improves everything. In this case, some Secret Service members assigned to Trump were women who knew how to keep calm when things got intense. Here you can see one of them, expertly not knowing how to put her gun in her holster. But she finally got it. Not bad. She did have to look though, taking her eyes off of potential threats. That's probably how it's meant to be done though. And here you can see that same DEI hire keeping Trump safe by hiding behind him, using his body as a shield to protect herself. And it happens to be that the head of the Secret Service recently spoke about her plan to increase diversity. Take a look.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
Well, as you can tell, any job a man can do, a woman can do better, or at least she can do it differently, which is especially important when a president's life is on the line. Now let's throw it over to Kelly with the weather. Take it away, Kelly.
I want to work for the Secret Service.
I'm sure you'll do a good job. Thank you, Kelly.
Wow.
That's it for tonight's special Trump Still Standing and Stronger Than Ever report. The case is pretty much closed. Lone gunman on the grassy knoll kind of thing. Right, CIA and FBI? But what will the deep state do next? They kind of exposed themselves here, didn't they? How many more attempts will be taken on Trump's life? And if you didn't know any better, you might start to think that God is good because Trump is alive, still standing, and stronger than ever. Good night.
Good job, JP. I'm laughing with you, but you're weird dude. But speaking of incompetent, and this is what I said, I do not like the government to be big because they're stupid. That's why I like Malays. He fired 70,000 government workers. I wish we could do the exact same thing up in America because we're bloated bureaucrats who do not do the job. We have 50 different agencies to do one job, and it doesn't get done because we spend trillions of dollars on crap. Again, we went from $20 trillion on it when Trump left office to $35 trillion now. $15 trillion. What do we have to show for it?
2024 is definitely going.
And again, shout out to Pink Book Leslie, a black woman.
Down in the history books. It's been over 43 years since someone got that close to taking out a U.S. president or former president. 43 years. And in that video, the link is below, by the way, if you missed it, I talked about the failure of the Secret Service and how they had dozens of people on the ground telling the police, hey, there's a man on the roof.
We noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle.
They allowed a man on the roof, not far away at all, within hundreds of yards, with clear access to the former president. And I wonder, was the Secret Service really this sloppy and incompetent, or did they intentionally leave that building open like that, for one, then allow that fool to bear crawl up there to get in position to do what he did, allowing him to get off several shots before countering? I don't care what anybody says, this was an absolute failure on the Secret Service, and the first person that should be fired right now is the Secret Service Director. Yeah, This lady right here, the DEI Secret Service Director, Kimberly A. Cheadle.
She needs to get fired, for real. And also Mayorkas, who's above her. He's an idiot. Like, this is the problem I have. We hire bureaucratic, dumb people who don't understand what's going on. That's the problem. She worked, her former employer was PepsiCo. Pepsi. Oh, I'm security for Pepsi. Okay, that's good. Yeah, you usually be in charge of dignitaries and high ups and high, very high targets. Yeah, that's what you should be doing. Yes, great job. Great job.
The 27th director sworn into office on September 19th, 2022. Ms. Kimberly here is more concerned with filling up the Secret Service with women than picking the right people for the job. She said it herself, in about 5 years, her goal is to turn the Secret Service into 30% female.
And I look forward to a day where we're able to talk about this agency and whoever is leading this agency and not have to distinguish, they're the second female or the fifth or the sixth, and that diversity is just part of this agency. And
it is. We don't care. Do your job. Point blank, period. I don't care if you're a man or woman. Do your damn job. But that's a fail. Again, it's so stupid. Again, Donald Trump is 6'3", 6'4". Most of those women are not his height, as JP just showed you. That right there is just stupid to me. You don't use smaller people to cover a tall man. That's idiotic. Literally.
and it's not even thought about.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030.
2030. I'm hoping that's not the case for, like I said, whoever gets in there. So that's crazy by itself.
As I sit in this chair now, of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
That workforce will be pivotal for the 2024 campaign season, which for the first time includes a former president who already has lifetime protection.
Yeah, that's why you saw these three dweebs out there calling themselves protecting Trump. They look crazy, clueless, and incompetent. Look at them. Then right after the attempt, one of them was directly in front of Trump, holding up her little short arms and bending down at the same time. For what, I don't know. Maybe she wasn't trying to get hit herself. Just stupid, by the way. I'm sorry, it's certain jobs you sign up for that's very high risk, and you basically sign up to give your life away if you have to. The military is definitely one of those, and the Secret Service law enforcement is another.
Another one.
If you would rather be a soft girl or listen to Taylor Swift on the weekend at the hair salon, this just isn't the job for you. And in my opinion, it's perfectly fine that most women don't want to be a Secret Service agent. Because we shouldn't want to be. I say leave that to the men, let them do their job. We shouldn't be there just standing in the way, looking around all awkward like a bunch of dweebs. It should be competent, stoic men, not worried I don't know how to put my weapon back into my holster. Women. It's super embarrassing, but you only get a moment like this because the director is more concerned with having women empowerment brunches at the Secret Service than actually getting the job done. Up here trying to get a Charlie's Angels moment while you have them guarding a former president. I'm sorry, this is unacceptable. And before any noodle brain feminist or simp try to say, well, women should be able to guard presidents too, answer this. If your life was on the line, do you want Charlie's Angels to show up? Do you want the clueless crew, or do you want the best trained men to show up?
Exactly.
Let's go a little further. If this had been Obama, will you still feel the same way? Will you want the clueless chicks guarding Obama? Okay, I forgot y'all don't like him no more. You say he not like us. What about Michelle? Will you want the clueless crew guarding Michelle Obama?
Ugh, as if.
Right, stop playing. Even Michelle Obama will tell them folks behind the scenes, stop playing in my face and go get me some real protection. Yeah, she'll get on camera and keep it cute and cordial. That's what she's supposed to do. She's not crazy, and none of us are either. These little 5-foot women should not be in charge of guarding a 6'3", 280, possibly 300-pound man. That's crazy. And most U.S. presidents are tall. In the last 30 years, every president has been at least 6 feet. Clinton and Obama 6'2", Trump 6'3". He's the third tallest president in history, behind Lyndon Johnson and the tallest president ever, Lincoln. And you can't forget about their children. The Secret Service also have to protect them. They're tall too. The Obama girls are 5'11" like their mom. Ivanka Trump, she's also a tall woman, 5'11". Eric Trump, 6'5". Baby Trump Barron just grew up out of nowhere. It's like one day he just woke up and he was 7 feet. Yeah, I'm saying stop playing. It doesn't matter what party you're with. This should be an American issue. I wouldn't wish this on anybody or their family.
Exactly.
Not the Trumps, the Biden family, not the Obamas, the Bush family, or the Clintons. Anybody. And I'm telling you, this Secret Service failure should open the eyes of everyone who didn't realize before things can get real, really fast. Now, word is the Secret Service did not sweep that building.
A Secret Service spokesman tells CNN that agents did not personally sweep the building where the gunman was perched at Saturday's rally. A source says one of 2 local counter snipers was supposed to be covering that very building. The Pennsylvania State Police says they were not responsible for that area. The head of the Secret Service, we should know, Kimberly Cheadle, announced this morning that the agency will fully participate in the independent review.
Wait. What? But how?
Wait a damn minute.
Exactly.
Wait a damn.
How do you not sweep the building that's right there? Super fail. Then there was an officer who encountered the shooter on the rooftop before pulling a Uvalde and running away.
So this is a big piece of information that the Associated Press now reporting, according to several officials who spoke to them on the basis of anonymity. They are saying that it has been learned in this investigation that a local police officer had been flagged down by those rally goers who noticed that the suspect, Thomas Crooks, had climbed up onto a nearby roof. They had flagged down this local officer. The officer climbed up onto the roof and reportedly went up there to confront the suspected shooter. That suspected shooter, Crooks, pointed his rifle at the officer, according to the AP, and that officer retreated, then giving the suspect the chance to fire his weapon at former President Trump.
Oh, my goodness.
See how crazy that is? That's the craziest part.
Before this even happened. From the time the audience saw that man on the roof, security should have seen him too. Really, they should have spotted him out and caught him up there before the people saw him. No, I do not believe the so-called best in the country should be this sloppy and this incompetent, which is why I still believe today Trump shouldn't trust anybody. The head of the Secret Service is facing a lot of scrutiny right now.
My reaction is that where was she, or where was any representative from the United States Secret Service at the initial press conference? I mean, that is their site. They should have had a representative there. Why have we not heard from her yet? Americans want to understand. If there is a time for her to come forward, it is now. And it's just radio silence. It's unacceptable. And she has this plan in place. It's very well known. You know, by 2030, she wants 30% of, female staff at the Secret Service. Maria, why should that matter? We should be focused on protecting. That is the job of the Secret Service.
She's got her comrades out here catching strays.
I don't understand why it is that you had one of the most significant events in the Secret Service's history occurred yesterday, and no one from the Secret Service has publicly decided to take questions about what happened. You had the FBI today openly giving us an on-the-record briefing about their investigation, but yet we still have not heard from anyone from the Secret Service.
So my role in the Secret Service is the RNC coordinator, so that is my purview. Any questions regarding yesterday's event can be directed to our public affairs office out of DC.
Wow. Okay. That helps a lot.
So, because incompetent Kim wouldn't come out, other leaders in her organization had to avoid questions while the so-called big boss dodged the press. It took her days to engage with the media, and when she finally did that, she took no accountability and blamed the local law enforcement instead.
When you said that local law enforcement was responsible for that building, what did you mean by that?
And I will say this because I watched this video. For one, CNN acts great. Not one, sorry, that would be a lie. But, one of the few times CNN pushed the question, thank you.
Secret Service respects local law enforcement, and we could not do our job either investigatively or on our protective mission without them. In Pennsylvania, in fact, on that same day, they were also working the First Lady trip and a vice presidential trip. So I understand the constraints that they're under, and as I said earlier, we couldn't do our job without them. At that particular site, we divided up areas of responsibility, but the Secret Service is solely responsible for the design and the implementation and the execution of the site, and that's
okay. So that means the ball was in your court.
what I was trying to stress, was that we just divided up areas of responsibility, and they provided support to those areas of responsibility.
The Secret Service increased security for former President Trump because of a credible threat from Iran. I've spoken with several people who look at the perimeter, hearing that news, look at the perimeter and say, how, knowing that there was a credible threat against the former president, how could that perimeter be so small that it excluded a building just 150 yards away from the podium?
I can't get into the specifics of any threats, but obviously with all of our protectees, we're constantly monitoring the threats that are out there, and we design our security plan based on that, also depending on the venue and the environment that we're in. And on that particular day, a full advance had been completed, but this is also why we are doing an internal review, and we look forward to the external review as well. And obviously, if there are things that we need to change about our policies or our procedures or our methods, we are certainly going to do so.
Was that perimeter too small?
The perimeter encompassed the area that we needed to secure for the event that we had on that day. What happened is a terrible incident and should never happen, and we are obviously going to make sure that moving forward, we take whatever lessons that come out of this and adjust accordingly.
Yeah, like you did when Trump walked on the RNC He had all men, tall men too. Thank God.
Was every element, every part of his, from the intelligence to the counter assault team to the detail agents to the shift agents, I mean every element top to bottom of the advance in the operation, was every element increased after you learned of this credible threat?
What we increased was what we felt was appropriate for the former president and for that particular event on that day. We have been increasing the assets and the resources and the staffing that we have been providing to the former president since he was a presidential candidate and then the presumptive nominee. That's what I can tell you.
That sounds like a no.
Thank you again. I give credit where credit due. Thank you, CNN. Thank you.
I am not saying a no at all. I'm saying that we have continued to increase the resources that we've been providing to the former president.
Yeah, Kimberly, you gotta go. It's not just about Trump, but a 50-year-old man lost his life while he was shielding his wife and daughters. 2 other men injured. Listen, this could happen to any of them at any rally, including the people you support. So yes, unacceptable across the board. And Kimberly, as the head honcho, you have to take responsibility. You can't be more interested in forming a feminist organization inside the Secret Service and replacing the men than actually making sure you get the job done.
And then later on, after she came with his stupid excuse, well, he was on a sloped roof.
What? What the fuck?
A lot of the snipers that was there too was also on sloped roofs as well. So what kind of stupid thing is that? It was on a sloped roof? You crazy.
Let's go ahead and get the conversation started.
Well, yeah, conversation started in that regard because that's needed. That is damn well needed for that. Let me see here. So let's see. So, because again, there's and right now, so this is the most updated stuff. There's a lot of questions that never got answered. As you just see, they keep putting the ball down. That's why I hate, if anything, I hate bureaucracy. I hate bureaucracy. They don't do nothing. They just take our taxpayer money and squander it, and they don't be accountable for nothing.
Answers. Now we learn from an FBI briefing that Thomas Crooks wasn't shot dead by snipers until 26 seconds after he fired his first shot.
One sniper took his eye off the scope.
Is this not a sloped roof? Unless it's a flat roof, which they are flat roofs. I'm an architect. I know that. There are a lot of most roofs are mostly pitch somehow.
Allowing the gunman to take several shots at the former president.
And that these snipers were not even the ones who killed Crooks, despite them obviously being trained on him the whole time. Their view of the gunman was likely blocked by this tree, leaving snipers positioned 2 buildings behind them and further away to take out the shooter. Colin Rugg writes, the development is odd because it suggests that multiple teams appear to be looking at or towards Crooks, who somehow managed to get off a clear shot on Trump. CNN reports audio forensics suggest as many as 3 different...
That's a big old boy up there on that roof. Because I remember Kim, she also said that, oh, we saw that it was a sloped roof and it looked flimsy. Well, this big old boy is on top of it. Man, y'all, again, oh my goodness.
Different weapons were fired at the Trump rally. Presumably those of the shooter, local law enforcement, and the Secret Service snipers. They spot the shooter acting suspiciously an hour before Trump walks out on stage. Pacing around near the building he would later scale to take the shot.
There he is. There he is. How crazy that is.
They identify him as a direct threat 10 minutes before Trump takes the stage.
About 10 minutes before former President Trump went onto the stage, they had gone from looking at this guy as suspicious to now looking at him as a threat. That is coming from this briefing that the senators were in. They were told that Secret Service had called it in to a center that this guy they now identified as a threat about 10 minutes before President Trump walked on stage.
And yet they still let Trump walk out on stage. Surely you'd delay the event to deal with the threat first. A back-channel radio call went out to everyone right before the shooting, alerting them of the imminent threat.
Did in fact see an individual on the roof with a weapon.
He saw the shooter.
He did.
Your officers are on patrol. They hear that there is a suspicious person on the rooftop. What did your officers do?
So our officers in the area started to converge on the building. My understanding is they did a full perimeter walk of the building. Weren't able to see up on the roof. Two of the officers went to what appeared to be the lowest point from ground to roof. One of the officers actually boosted the second officer up high enough for him to grab hold of the roof. When he was able to pull his head up over the roof, he did in fact see an individual on the roof with a weapon.
He saw the shooter.
He did.
And what did the shooter do?
Turned towards him, had the barrel of his weapon pointed at the officer.
At that point, the officer's hanging on to the side of the roof?
Yes.
Unable to pull a gun out.
Unable to
Defend himself. Unable to reach his radio.
Any of that. Yeah. Strictly defensive movement for him to lower his head, duck, lost his own grip, right? Fell approximately 8 feet to the ground.
And I got a question too. He said somebody has boosted him up. So if he ducked, whatever, the person could have said, hey, get Trump off the stage. I mean, it's weird.
It's a steep drop.
It's a good drop, yes.
Did he get hurt?
He did.
In that moment, did they realize there's a threat right now to the former president?
They did. So both the boosting officer and the officer that fell were both on the radio, indicating that there was an individual on the roof that did, in fact, have a weapon.
Who did they radio?
So there was a blanket tactical channel being
Everyone
used.
heard it.
Everyone that was on that tactical channel heard it, yes.
How much time between that radio communication and the gun being fired at the former president?
That I don't have that information.
Yet Trump's still allowed to walk out right in the line of fire.
Here's what I'm hearing. There is an actual text record, so it's not disputable. There's text, phone text, you know what I mean, right? That this threat may have been recognized at about 5:01 p.m., an hour before Donald Trump got on stage. And there are some people telling me that there was a failure in the beginning to properly get that information out. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing, and let me give you the other side. The locals and some of the Butler County officials are disputing that, saying, hey, we told the Secret Service about the threat and they didn't do anything. That is going to come out in the wash once we get these records FOIA'd and out in the public. You're going to see via the text record who was notified when and what was done about it. Second, I have it confirmed from a source that there was no or very limited drone surveillance that day. There was no effective aerial surveillance plan, basically whatsoever. Aerial surveillance would have detected this threat on the roof. There was no drone. So we can now confirm that, which is an absolutely abominable security plan.
ABC News reported law enforcement officials told lawmakers Secret Service, quote, snipers spotted him on the roof at 5:52. The shooting happened at 6:12, 20 minutes later. Because of all this, Marsha Blackburn demanded that Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle resign. Then Mrs. Slopey Roof was angrily confronted by senators at the RNC.
The event, if there is an emergency, the event is strictly traffic. To help people coming in and out of the event. If there is an emergency, those type of things. We saw the number of people, the number of cars at the event. And I was so frustrated and quite frankly hit my limit again last night when I saw, again, Secret Service says it was the responsibility of the local police department. That's absolutely not correct.
Local police also told Secret Service they didn't have the resources to station a vehicle outside the building the gunman climbed on. As to the motive of the shooter, well, it's all still a bit murky. Crooks reportedly posted a message on a gaming forum saying, July 13 will be my premiere, watch as it unfolds. But
yeah, I don't believe that.
And hours later, the feds came out and said that this was actually not his account. He also used a search term that was, quote, Trump Biden when is DNC convention and July 13 Trump rally. He also apparently scoped out other high-profile targets, including members of the British royal family, as well as Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, and Merrick Garland, the U.S. Attorney General. Was he...
Okay, Merrick Garland, but I won't. That would be problems. I ain't gonna do that.
Just looking for the most opportune moment to target anyone prominent, regardless of political ideology. Did Crooks have no firm political beliefs, as we've been told? And isn't that somewhat contradicted by what his schoolmate Vincent Taormina said about the shooter? That he.
Before we go into that, so this is another thing that happened where people don't understand how the system is, and that's why I said it's so weird. Yes, Pennsylvania has a closed primary, just like North Carolina has a closed primary. So if you want to vote for somebody else that you don't like to be on the ticket, you have to switch registration. He donated to Act Blue, which is Democrat. But he registered Republican so he could vote for Nikki Haley because he didn't want Trump to run. That's how it worked. That's how. And I'll be honest with you. I hate closed things. Like for me here in North Carolina, I hate that. Let me vote who the hell I want to vote for. Okay, it's stupid. But anyway, that's what happened. Like for me, if I wanted to vote for, which my wife was asking, which I didn't, but and I'm not throwing my wife on the bus because I understand what she's talking about. But just to give the best example. If I wanted to vote for Mark Robertson to run for governor, which I know he would have gotten it, but that I would have to change from Libertarian to Republican to put on Mark Robertson on there. Then when the general election comes, of course, it'll be too late to transfer back. That's why I do it. So I just choose Libertarian stuff for the primaries. That's all I could have voted for. Libertarian stuff. That's all I could have done. And some of them, again, I did what I do because that's the party I'm affiliated with. Again, not a straight libertarian because pure libertarians are crazy because, again, every extreme is stupid. And also the candidate we have for libertarian does not represent nothing that I think a libertarian should be representing, but whatever. I'm sorry, Libertarian Party. Y'all went, y'all was worried with Jay Johnson. Y'all thought, oh, because he couldn't get Aleppo and all this stuff right, and people laughed at him. Okay, he didn't know everything, and that's why I like Herman Cain when he said, "Do you, Becky Stan, whatever that joke when he was like, do you know the capital of this?" Is like, I don't know the capital of this country, that country. None of you people too. You'll learn it when you become president. That one is, I don't care. If they say, hey, Biden, do you know the capital of Uganda? Like, I don't know. That I wouldn't even, like I said, if Biden had said, I don't know, but I'll ask somebody to do it, that I would get it. It's like, you gotta be glib for no apparent reason. It's so stupid. But, like I said, he registered Republican so he could vote for Nikki Haley. That's where everybody got the whole thing mixed up as.
He was, in fact, intensely political.
Thomas was...
And if he did, then he knows how the system works with a closed primaries.
A quiet kid, unless there's something that he was passionate about, politics being one of them.
That he hated Trump.
So I brought up the fact that I'm Hispanic and, you know, I'm for Trump. And he said, well, you're Hispanic, so shouldn't you hate Trump? And I was like...
Yo, England, how stupid that is.
Like...
Why?
No, he's great. I mean, like, he's a great president. And he's, you know, he called me stupid or insinuated that as if he's like, well, that's kind of stupid.
And that countering reports he was just a loner.
He was not severely bullied.
He did, in fact, have a friend group.
So his friend group, they were known for being, like I said, like, just out there, a little bit more recluse.
Which all the other kids speculated would produce a school shooter type.
They were definitely the type, and they did make threats to shoot up our school. The signs were there, and somebody definitely had to go down. Somebody, whether he was talking to somebody, or somebody either just didn't realize and just overlooked it, somebody should have known, because he was not a loner. And both of his parents being counselors, how do you not see that warning sign here?
Recall.
So his both parents was counselors. Ooh-wee. Yeah, y'all raised a good old boy. But at least I'm going to say that he had two parents. Not jobs, but he had two parents.
That another schoolmate also said that he constantly wore a COVID mask.
He wore a mask like a COVID mask, like even after COVID was over.
Which literally became part of the uniform for far leftists. Yet he wasn't really political. Joe Rogan said that if someone laid out this sequence of events for a movie script, it'd get rejected for being too unbelievable.
The Trump one is just so nuts too. Like if he turns his head at the last second and the bullet grazes his ears, if he didn't, it hits the back of his head and he's dead, and then we fall into chaos and who knows what the fuck happens.
Big chaos.
The whole thing's nuts. The whole thing stinks of either incompetence or a design, or we're in the Matrix. Somehow or another, he talked himself into trying to assassinate the president as a lone gunman in Pennsylvania, got on top of a roof, either through sheer incompetence or for some other reason. He actually gets a shot off, and the president just moves his head at the right time. Like, the whole thing is, if it was in a movie, I'd be like, shut the fuck up.
Meanwhile, despite all his boosters, Biden caught COVID again and immediately had to suspend his campaign, with the White House saying he had mild symptoms. But according to MSNBC's Joy Reid, it's no different from what happened to Trump.
His survival of that and bouncing,
which I played earlier,
right back and going right to his convention, is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength.
Biden, after COVID diagnosis, I feel good. But all the shots that this man took, and he has COVID, that's why y'all ain't putting none of that crap in my body. I ain't nope, not taking a shot. Only one person I would have taken a shot would be my grandmother, and sadly she has passed away this year. That's the only reason. But if it ain't that, don't like something that just happens so quickly like that. Nope.
This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be.
You telling me a cold, flu, something like COVID, and a bullet. Chick, are you serious? A bullet versus I'll take the cold. I'll take the COVID over a bullet. Flipping nuts. Oh my goodness, yo. I'll take the cold over the bullet anytime.
Fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies.
Even Jed's like, you sound stupid, but I don't want to say nothing.
Isn't that exactly the same?
Yes, Joy. Nearly getting your head blown off by a matter of inches is exactly the same thing.
This is the part, like I said, this is the stupidity of everything. It's just so stupid, it makes no sense. Dumb. Just straight out dumb. So, I want to do two more videos and that'll be it. One is powerful and one is thing. Now, a lot of people don't know this about, I'm gonna put it here, but I'm gonna go back to main pictures just in case y'all don't like to see Trump on the screen. So let me just put my ugly mug on his face. My grandmother was a wise woman. I'm happy she was my spiritual teacher. She was funny, and I am happy that I spent the last couple of days with her when I was up when I left February, and I took a hit of my check, went down, helped her, took care of her. She was laughing, she was talking to me, and I thank the God about that I got to spend time with her. A lot of my family members don't know this. Okay, no, most of my family members who are political, they're Democrats. I'm gonna say it is what it is. That's what they are. More joy of them. Now, some have a certain kind of weird hatred, and I don't understand that, and I try to be like that. But but point taken, like I said, my grandmother was a wise woman who taught me stuff. So what I'm about to say, they don't know about. A lot of them don't know this, and I have never told them, and I'm not, except for certain people. My sister knows about this, and I kind of have a video about it as well too. My grandmother, me and her had a quick conversation, and so a lot of people was like, "Oh, well, Trump has a bad temper. He's immoral. He does all that stuff like that. That is true. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not saying that he doesn't. But he became president and he did some stuff. And my grandmother said, "Yeah, I don't like the man because of how he is." Because again, I remember when she told me, I should go to the inauguration of President Obama when it had happened the first time which I voted for President Obama. So he's having that, and I said, "No, I'm not doing that in that cold because he ain't Jesus." And he's proved to me that, which is with that regard. But she said she didn't like Trump. But you know what? But she said if she had a vote, you know what she would vote for? Trump over Biden at the time when this happened. Why? She has 2 grandsons. Well, let me put it this way. She had 2 grandsons. One of the grandsons got killed by illegals. My cousin got killed by illegals. And she saw that Trump was talking about it and stopping illegals from coming to the country and killing people. So she said that's what she would give you for her grandson would have been alive today. So let me play 2 videos for you about this, because people say Trump is racist and stuff like that. My thing is always, and I've said it again, Project 2025 ain't got to do nothing with Trump. It's the Heritage Foundation. If you're gonna argue and say he's a bad person, argue him on what was it again? Agenda 47. That is his platform. Go to I know most Democrats will never do that. Go to Trump.com and you'll see Agenda 47 and argue those. That's what I've said. Argue those points. Don't argue something that the man's not. Go true. Project 2025. There's no mention of Trump. I read it. There's no mention of Trump. I saw right on Facebook, somebody put out, Project 2025 is going to raise the cost for people to pay student loans. Boo-hoo, crying emoji, don't care. Again, my wife has student loans, my sister has student loans. Here's the thing. I paid my student loan. I had a student loan, I paid it. I came out of college with my bachelor's degree with no student loan. Because I worked my butt off. And I also thank God I got a job that makes sense, because a lot of people who you pay $100,000 to be like for the most dumbest degrees. It's so stupid. I didn't want to go look for the video with which all these people from New York. They're paying $150,000 to be. My major is in gender studies of Black people in indigenous countries. Like, what? That's not gonna make no money at all. That's the colleges with professors coming up with these stupid stupid classes so they can make money, because their degrees don't mean jack squat either. Go to school for math, science, and engineering. If it ain't that, don't go to no colleges. Please. You want to be a doctor? Go to a college. I got a problem. Law enforcement, go to college if they have it in there. Lawyers, yes. Not a fan of lawyers, but yeah. Those kind of stuff, yes. But the other stuff is so stupid, it makes no sense. You can go to regular school, county schools, or community colleges and get a job and make a lot of money. Right now, there's a shortage of mechanics. Right now, you could make a good amount of money. I've seen a show where this guy went on a show. Man worked and made $150,000 as an airplane mechanic. And just because it's an airplane mechanic and not something fancy, they turned him down. I saw at the same show, I saw a Black man that was nicely done, kept well, built nice and everything. He was a lieutenant officer and deputy officer. And all the women turned him down because they're like, he's lame, he's not this. I'm like, he's not edgy. I'm like, so that's what's going on, because the guy is not this kind of guy. It puzzles me. But I don't want to hold up any more time because we're getting close to the end. So let me put this in, like I said, argue the points. That's all I said. All of the points. Okay? That's all I'm saying. If you want to argue, do the right thing. So here we go with this. Yeah. Listen to this. And I'll point out this right here for anybody. So because people will be like this. Again, if you don't like the show, you have no problem. But again, drop comments in there, talk about stuff. But if you don't like the show, it's all right. I could take it, thumbs it down, thumbs it up on YouTube, whatever. Doesn't bother me because I know what I'm saying. I'm telling the truth. And also, I want people to think about some of the decisions they're making and not act stupid. Yes, there's a lot of look. The reason why the main reason I cannot vote for Kamala Harris, one, she says she's not a black woman. She said it herself. I am an Asian. I am an Indian American. That's what she said herself. She didn't say She didn't say African American. She didn't say black. I'm Asian American. She only used black when she wants to, but when she got signed when she got announced into the Senate, she did not say African American. Two, she was the DA, and when she was the DA, she let a lot of people out. She arrested a lot of black folks for smoking weed, but went out the breakfast and crack jokes about, oh yeah, I smoke a little weed, but you arrested a lot of people for a long time for smoking weed. Weird. But also, there were illegals coming in, and you let an illegal who beat up a pregnant woman, and I wish I had a clip. I don't have the clip no more. I erased out of my phone accidentally. Beat up a pregnant woman, beat up people, whatever. Got deported twice. That's why I know Trump said we're going to mass deportation. I do not care about deportation no more. You want to come to America, and if you want to come to America and do crimes, your butt need to be in jail for the rest of your life. I don't give a dang about that. Because some of y'all are some evil people who rape, kill, do other stuff. Let me help you out right here. A friend of mine I grew up with, her husband, black, she's Hispanic because she's from Puerto Rico. He's Hispanic. 4 kids, 2 kids, and a black man who was a firefighter, sadly like the other guy, got killed. Got killed. This man should have been out of the country all the time, but Kamala would keep on letting him out of the prison. They didn't want to put him in prison. For what reason? As much as I could say stuff about Joe Biden, I know he's not running the country or whatever. My vote's not going that way, but I cannot vote but my true argument I can't vote for that is because of Kamala Harris. She slept her way to her top. She's not as smart as other people think. She's an intellectual. She never says nothing smart. She always repeats the same thing over again. But because she let a man out who killed innocent people, not one, not one in this time I'm talking about, not one, but 3 people, 2 young boys and a father, black and mixed, and 2 young mixed boys. And everybody's talking about, the migrants. I don't use migrants. I use illegals. I'm sorry. You're not in the country. No. A migrant will not do what these animals been doing.
Here tonight are 2 fathers and 2 mothers, Evelyn Rodriguez, Freddie Cuevas, Elizabeth Alvarado, and Robert Mickens. Their 2 teenage daughters, Kayla Cuevas and Nisa Mickens, were close friends on Long Island. But in September 2016, on the eve of Nisa's 16th birthday, such a happy time it should have been, neither of them came home. These 2 precious girls were brutally murdered while walking together in their hometown. 6 members of the savage MS-13 gang have been charged with Kayla and Nisa's murders. Many of these gang members took advantage of glaring loopholes in our laws to enter the country as illegal, unaccompanied alien minors and wound up in Kayla and Nisa's high school. Evelyn, Elizabeth, Freddie, and Robert, tonight everyone in this chamber is praying for you. Everyone in America is grieving for you. Please stand. Thank you very much.
Yes. Oh, the legal immigrants don't do nothing. Okay, all right, whatever. Here's one that was this one was that happened last night. Listen to this story and we call it a night. You know, he's racist, don't like black people, all that dumb stuff that y'all keep on hearing. I don't know why y'all say that, but whatever.
Good evening, everyone. My son,
excuse me right there.
Sergeant Hassan Korea, an Afghanistan War retired veteran. He received enemy fire from the Taliban, only to be murdered with a knife on the streets of New York City. The 4 assailants responsible for his death initially were facing justice, but that changed when District Attorney Alvin Bragg was elected. Suddenly, 2 of the homicidal maniacs responsible for my son's death had their gang assault and murder charges completely dismissed. One of them received 14 months time served. Alvin Bragg charged her with assault with a shoe. And another one was sentenced to 7 years. I later learned that Alvin Bragg often dismisses and reduces dangerous criminals. He wants to clear the jails and return violent felons onto our streets every day. The injustice was devastating for me and my family. I don't want anyone else to experience the senseless pain that many other victims across this United States of America have to live with every day. So I decided to use the voice that God gave me to be the voice for the voiceless across America. We need justice for victims, and we need accountability for prosecutors who fail in their duty. Soft on crime prosecutors like Alvin Bragg in New York, Kim Foxx in Chicago, and George Gascon in Los Angeles have turned our great country and cities into war zones. Poor and neglected communities like mine are suffering. And who else in here is sick and tired of being sick and tired?
I'm
the
definitely
Democratic Party that poor minorities have been loyal to for decades, including myself, all right? They betrayed us. They stabbed us in the back. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who claim to represent us, have abandoned us. They neglected the poor minority communities across America. But mine eyes have been opened. Just like so many other poor minorities across America. Donald Trump shares our values, love of God and family and country. He's been a victim of the same corrupt system that I have been and my family has been. He is committed to providing economic opportunities, helping those suffering from addiction with long-term inpatient drug programs, rolling back deadly bail reform policies, that are getting our children killed every single day.
Yep.
And supporting our police. We back the NYPD. We back the blue. Back the blue. NYPD, black the blue. Trump was right when he said, they're after us. He's just standing in the way. And guess what? He always will. That's why I'm standing with him today. Let's make America safe again.
Amen.
And re-elect our Donald J. Trump. Thank you, and good night.
All right, there you go. So it's not all just white people, as they always say. It has minorities in there too. And again, you vote for who you want to vote for, okay? You see what you see.
Call ARS Rescue Rooter today for our $99 mainline drain clearing special. The pros at ARS will inspect your drains with...
Well, that. Apologize. Again, one-man show here. But like I said, you vote who you want to vote for. Vote for Donald Trump. Vote for Joe Biden. Vote for RFK. But again, if you're going to make an argument on the same things. Okay? Seriously, that's all I ask for. Just be on the same plane. It's been crazy how things are. I am one person I'm going to tell you right now. I thank the Lord that he did not get killed. Because I think it would have been worse for America. Again, could have started World War III because World War I started the same exact way with the successor of Archduke Ferdinand. But again, it is what it is. How that works out. So again, thank you for giving me your time, your ears, your mind on all this situation that we're talking about right here. I wouldn't want assassination on Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. I want assassination on no political. We do need to stop the political violence out there. That guy got off a lucky shot. God was with Trump or somehow because he turned his head. He has, I mean, something like that changes your life because I've been listening to more people saying how he's not as cocky and arrogant as he usually was, which is a good thing. Humble him a little bit. My problem is, like I said, we have a country right now that is not run by Joe Biden, which I have a problem with that. Because it means that it's run by bureaucrats and they don't care nothing about this country except for making their money. Again, if I had to be honest with you, if there was a person I wanted to vote for, it would be Malays in Argentina. That's what I want. That's the libertarian I want. And I wish the Libertarian Party in America was like, oh my God, I wish that was what it is. Fire people who needs to be fired. Like we just showed you that Kim girl needs to be fired because she was bad at her job. There's too much bureaucracy in American politics. The government is too big. It's too big and it needs to fail. I don't care. It needs to. We need to fire a lot of people in the government. It does. We spend trillions of dollars of our money to do what? Nothing. How many times they showed us where they spent $5,000 on a hammer and all this dumb stuff that makes no logical sense because they do it for their buddies and stuff back home. Democrats and Republicans, both parties. So I don't like it. I don't like the military-industrial complex by the Republicans because it's stupid. We don't need to be fighting, doing stuff, and keeping this going on all the time. That's one of the reasons I voted for Obama because when when John McCain talk about we need this stuff like no, I'd rather, and again I am, even though I don't, I If you tell me I'm gonna vote for John McCain or Obama again in 2008, I'll vote for Obama still. Even though he gave us the Affordable Health Care Act, which is bogus and crap, because it didn't do what it's supposed to do. Because again, my insurance went up, my wife's insurance go up, a lot of people's insurance went up. We didn't keep the doctors, as Obama said, you'll keep your same doctors. That was straight up a lie. I would choose him over John McCain because John McCain wanted to go fight other countries like we're doing right now, which is so weird. How that's weird. So they like the military-industrial complex. I don't like the rhinos who think, oh, it's good to keep the swamp going or whatever. I also don't like I said, what's going on in the left side as well too. So again, you choose what you want to choose. I know what I'm going to choose. But again, I'm happy that Trump did not get assassinated. Thank the Lord above that didn't happen, okay? So with that goes to the words that I've said right here. Remember that evil comes in all shapes, sizes, color, creed, height, nationality, whatever. Evil's evil. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors. That's how you make a great community. And last but not least, of course, remember, people are stupid. Individuals are smart. Be a smart individual. All right, we have about, at the end of this show, which is good, 39,450 people listening worldwide. I thank you for giving me your time on that. And again, I'm starting next month. I'll do that. That's next month. Every third Saturday, I'm going to do topics that's specific to one thing instead of me jumping around like you saw right now. So with that said, thank you very much. Wish y'all a good night. Catch y'all next Thursday once again between 8 to 8:30. Peace out. God bless you all. And God bless America.